Hi, my name is Jenna. I'm with the Fitness and Recreation Department. Today's video we're going to be talking about posture. And we're going to keep this fairly simple. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is posture-related syndromes. So we have the upper cross syndrome and we have the lower cross syndrome. So these are compensation patterns that are very common when you have poor posture. And poor posture can come when you're sitting in a job or any kind of workplace studying for extended periods of time. Sometimes we'll see it in younger people if they've been doing a lot of gaming, tech neck, all that kind of stuff. So what we wanted to talk about first is the upper cross syndrome. So upper cross syndrome generally means that there's a weaker neck, so weaker neck flexors, and a weaker mid-back between the shoulder blades, tighter traps, so a lot of you will probably resonate with this quite a bit, and tighter muscles in through the chest. So we don't often think of our chest muscles getting tight, but if you've been doing a lot of typing or a lot of writing, a lot of mouse work, we're kind of in this position. Now, what you can do here is you can activate some and release others. So one thing that you can do is you can release the upper traps and the chest and then activate the neck and the mid-back. So tight traps, typically we just do an ear to shoulder and you can stretch your arm out. There's different variations that you can do and everyone's going to be a little bit different in terms of where they're actually going to feel the stretch. So you want to feel it can be a little uncomfortable, it shouldn't be painful, and it should feel like a little pull, and you want to hold this for 20 to 30 seconds, and you might need to kind of move your head around a little bit just to increase the stretch. You're going to want to do this on both sides. Now, if your upper traps are so tight that and it gets stuck and it just feels like there's no stretching to be done, then you can reach up and you can do just a very mild self-massage, just like that. So that is an option that you have if the stretch just does not feel like it's going to do anything for you. Then you're going to stretch the chest. So if you're sitting down, you can just reach up and pull the arms down and back, feeling a stretching through here. A lot of people will feel a good stretch, so hands behind the back, roll the shoulders, and press back. That can be a good one as well. If you have any discomfort in through your wrists or your shoulders are feeling quite sore, then this one might be a better option for you. If there's a shelf nearby, you can reach your arm out, hold onto the shelf, and then turn with your feet guiding the turn like that. So some good ways to open up the chest. Another way that you can work with the chest, if you have the space, is using a foam roller. So a foam roller looks like that. If you don't have one of these at home, but you do have a yoga mat, you can roll up your yoga mat and you can lay some blankets over top. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can roll up some blankets over top of some pillows and just create your own bolster. And what you're going to do with this is you're actually going to lay across it and it opens your chest. So what we have here is you're going to sit and then you're going to bring whatever bolster that you have or created for yourself and you're going to lay across. Now if this feels like it's too much of an arch for your low back, you can place a pillow underneath your hips because this is not meant to be a lower back stretch, it's meant to be a chest stretch. And then you'll just gently open your arms out to the side and it's a passive stretch. And then you can hang out here. This is a great exercise to do at the end of a long workday. So then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to activate your neck and your mid-back. So what you can do to strengthen your neck is a couple of different things. One of them is a cervical retraction, so just a chin to the chest, or chin back, sorry. It's kind of like doing that, but you don't want to jut your chin out first. So you're just pulling back. If you're laying on the floor, you're imagining that you're just flattening your neck into the floor. You can also do an isometric strengthening exercise for the front of your neck. You're going to keep your neck neutral, bring your hand to your forehead, and equal pressure you're pushing forward and resisting. Just enough to get these muscles to contract. Hold for about 10 or 15 seconds. To work the muscles within the mid-back, what we can do here is actually called angel arms. It's probably the easiest thing to do. You can do this against a wall. You can do it laying on the floor, or you can do it just standing or sitting wherever you might be. You're going to open up your arms similar to the chest stretch. You're going to extend all the way up, and then you're going to pull all the way down and squeeze those elbows behind the back. Reaching it all the way up, bring it down, squeeze the muscles behind the back. And that will help your posture related to the upper cross syndrome. Lower cross syndrome is, you guessed it, what's happening with the lower body. So here we tend to have a weakness in through the glutes and in through the abdominals, and then we tend to have tightness in the back and in the hip flexors. So in terms of the release activities, you can lay on the floor and hug your knees to your chest. If you don't have space to lay on the floor, you can just do a forward fold and then just come down like that. So forward fold. I'm just putting a little bit of pressure behind just to curl and stretch through here. So that's for the low back. Your hip flexors, you can take one foot, press it back. Now if you take your foot and open it up a little bit and then lean more forward, you're going to get a nice stretching through the psoas here. Abs, we all know doing ab exercises, so a basic abdominal crunch or a basic deadlift. Now I'll show you the deadlift. This is a really good exercise to do. It works your transverse abdominis and your rectus abdominis. It allows some pelvic stabilization as well. There's many variations that you can do with the dead bug. So I'll show you just sort of the middle of the road dead bug. Let's move there we go. So you're going to lay on the floor and you're going to bring your legs up into 90. And you want to keep your pelvis neutral. So the legs up, you don't want to do a tilt, and you don't want to flatten the back into the floor. Now, if you lift the legs up and this gives you a lot of intensity, then you don't need to do anything else. Fingertips up to the ceiling, then you're going to extend one leg, opposite arm, bring it back, and back. If you want to make it more challenging, you can go feet to the ceiling and down like that. Nice and slow, working the entire abdominal area. What you can do for weaker glutes is you can do a standing glute squeeze, or you can go into a bridge. I like the standing glute squeeze because it allows you the opportunity to really focus on one side before you move on to the other. So what you're going to do is you stand and you're going to, like you're skiing. So pushing out to the side, just like that. And you're going to increase the contraction through the glutes. If that doesn't feel like it's giving you too much intensity, if you're standing in front of a wall and you push back, you can press into the wall and increase the intensity isometrically, which is activation of the muscle without movement, and then you can get a good contraction of the glutes there. Hold for 10 seconds or 10 repetitions on both sides. Now another thing that you can do, and you can do this anywhere, is just working in a very small way all of the postural muscles from head to toe. So you can do this at home in front of a mirror. So your feet are even beside one another. You're going to make sure that your knees are in line with your ankles, And just depending on the angle of your femur might determine how much contraction through the back of the body you'll have to do. So knees in line with the ankle. Then you're going to pull the belly button into the spine to keep the pelvis neutral. Then you're going to roll the shoulders up and down, keep the belly pulled in, palms forward, and then that chin tuck, ever so slight. So the idea is to feel as if you have your ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle all in a row. And if you have any weaknesses, they'll show themselves. It's because you'll feel those certain areas of the body wanting to relax. You can hold this for as long as you feel comfortable. You can do this anywhere. So you can do this in the grocery store. You can do this if you're standing waiting for something at the microwave. Again, and this, if you've watched the video on hydration, this would be also a micro movement that you can do throughout the day. Thank you.